Hello, everybody. Sorry for the wait. I was talking with some family members about stuff. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? Super duper good. The best ever. Everything's totally chill and fine. Hi, guys. It's very dark. It's very dark in the front here. So I'm sorry that I'm in the shadows. I did my best. I tried to fix it and nothing really worked. So, you know what I didn't try though? Wait a minute. I could just bring up white background. Here we go. Wait, and then just make that huge. Hey, that's a little better. When in doubt. When in doubt, pinky out. Okay. Yep, make everything as bright as I can. Here we go. This is the good shit. Oh, Discord? What if you were in light mode? Wait, how do you even turn on light mode in Discord? Is there a light mode in Discord? Ah, fuck it. I love the new office setup. Thank you. I unpacked everything. I'm wearing the same clothes as yesterday. I'm sure you'll all understand. It's starting to look cozy. Thank you. That's the hope. That's the hope. I've made myself a coffee. Well, I've made a little bit of extra coffee. It's weak though, right? Like that looks super weak to me. So I'm not sure what went wrong there, but that's okay. I haven't tried it yet. It might be fine. I am officially on 1 to 2 week lockdown here. I know a lot of people are doing that anyway, but Clark and I have both had a pretty bad cough that is not going away. And so we are not allowed to leave the house now. So, fortunately, because of my lifestyle, I haven't left the house in days anyway. So there's that. But yeah, none of us in this house can leave anymore because we don't know what I have. And I'm not about to, my symptoms aren't bad enough. Both of us were literally only coughing. We don't have a fever. So it's not in any way a situation where we're like, I gotta go to the hospital and get tested, right? Like I can just hang, it's fine. The only thing that we're trying to figure out is groceries, how to get groceries. But I think everybody's having problems getting groceries right now, so you know, we're not alone. Yeah, I have a couple people on both sides of the family that are pregnant and have been told to stay away. So they're like, oof, I don't know what to do. I can't do work or anything. And my sister's whole family works at the hospital, so I'm sure they're having a rough time too. But yeah, it's all gonna work out. It's all gonna be fine. But yeah, just mentally preparing for it. All right, I've got like 2 weeks here where I can be in my house and I can be in my backyard. And that's pretty much it. So all of our stuff got shipped. I think I was telling you guys that we have a bunch of like pallets, wood pallets that our stuff from the ship got sent over on. And I was like, what can I do with those pallets? I figured it out. I'm just going to take the pallets, rip a couple of the boards out, and I'm going to use them as like raised planter beds, basically. I don't have any seeds, but I have some strawberries that aren't doing great. So I can just shove those strawberries in the ground. I can do some shit like that and just like see what happens. Strawberries grew really well at my house in Oregon. And the weather is so similar here that I'm like, maybe it'll be fine. Maybe I can get strawberries to grow here. I plan to, because yeah, depending on how the wood is treated, you don't really want it near food. I was just gonna like sand it really well, but maybe that doesn't do enough. Can you do a shelf tour of this stuff back here? It's pretty far away, so I can't like be back there and like explain what everything is. Down here are like some plays and things that I love. Those are the only movies that I've kept. Those are games. These little figures right here are my Final Fantasy 14 figures. That's Uzumaki. Those are a couple D&D books. Sherlock Holmes. Those are art books, I think. My like Yoko Taro book and my Dead Cells book and stuff. That's the Dead Cells one. Some bunny bulmas. That right there, I think, is my award for most inspiring on Dance Team. Still living in high school. That's my Rock Lee print that I haven't gotten framed yet. These are 2 old Omocat prints. That's Mirror Shades. And all of those back there are graphic novels. So yeah, that's that. Oh, and that's Hiei right there. I don't know where to put him yet, so. I felt bad with the Discord disconnect when it was that big D&D reveal. Oh my god. It was literally so our campaign so far right now is that we're like trapped on a floating island, right? And my character, I'm trying to think of how to quickly explain this because I've tried to explain it a couple of times and it always gets so long. Basically, the first campaign that we did, all of our characters caused a huge event that like killed a bunch of people. It was all in the name of like basically like killing the old gods was kind of the idea. There was like a god, a divine god, and a void god, and they hated each other. It was very Final Fantasy 14. They hated each other. They had there were people on the planet that were divinely touched and void touched, which didn't necessarily mean that they like worshipped that entity. It just meant that they were born with like a blessing. And there was like a whole plan in place of like, if we can destroy all of the like sources of power for these gods, then maybe mortals can finally live for themselves and not be like pulled in one direction or another depending on how these gods are feeling, right? Was the idea. So at the end of our last campaign, we basically caused an event that like destroyed the old gods. And so this new campaign is, I think, 500 years in the future, something like that. And a bunch, like all of our characters are waking up after having slept since this event. And we know why, because there was a city, there was a city where the people lived that put this whole plan into place. They also had a plan set in motion to make sure that everybody that was in their city would be like frozen in time, basically. And so all of our characters have like woken up. We don't remember falling asleep. We don't remember what was happening when we fell asleep. Nothing. And there's no other people around. So we're like, what the fuck? And it turns out like the whole city was floating and has like broken up into lots of little islands all over the place. And so we're basically just trying to figure out like what happened. But metagame wise, like we as players do know what happened. So my character, her dad was an engineer on like a magical engineer to help with the whole project. But my character doesn't really know much, just knows that like that they were prepping for something. And so we've found like schematics for an airship and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, somebody has an airship here. Like if we could find it, we could get off this island and find out what's going on the surface. That would be amazing. So we're heading to the main cathedral that was in the town, because that's apparently where this airship was like listed as being. So we're heading out there, and literally like we still had an hour left in the amount of time that we were going to be playing for the day. So one of the other players, Joe's character, got hit by like a sniper shot, and we were like, holy shit, somebody's shooting us. Like that means there's a person here, right? There's another person. We have to we have to rush them basically. Like, so we were like pulling out all the stops trying to figure out how to like distract and get this person to like shoot the wrong thing and whatever else. And we managed to get to her, and she like pulled back her hood and went, my character's name is Poe, pulled back her hood, looked at me and goes, Poe? And then Discord died instantly. And we were like, who was she? Who was she? It was the worst. It sucked so bad. So we were like, all right, I guess that's the cliffhanger. I guess it's all done. So funny. Today my D&D group is fighting a dragon. Oh, enjoy. I texted some of my friends in America. I haven't heard back because they're all asleep. But I texted some of my friends in America and I was like, hey guys, since none of us can leave the house, I think it's a pretty good time for us to start a new D&D game. Because it's the same. This is a group of people that I had a like off-stream game with. It's basically like the group of my like really close friends at a certain point in LA, and all of us wound up having to move to different places or like got jobs in completely different areas, and so none of us really get to see each other anymore. So we had started a game, but you know, life got in the way. I had a baby, all kinds of shit, and so I was like, yo, I know that none of y'all are leaving the house, so are we starting a new game or what? I might do that on purpose for my next campaign. Just like do the dun 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 phrase and then quickly go into Discord and change the server to something obnoxious that just like pings everybody into another planet. Like just happy birthday to me, Ailey baby, happy birthday. Oh, I DM'd my dad's first D&D game the other day. I am planning, well, it's going to be delayed now, but I am putting together a small D&D game. Somebody recommended the Sheep Chase campaign. That's 100% the one that I'm going to do. I read through the whole thing and I was like, this is so cute and super simple. Because I've talked to you guys a lot about how I really love the idea of, number one, running D&D games for all the kids in the family, because people just keep popping out children and eventually they're all going to need shit to do, right? So it would be super fun to run a D&D game for all the kids. Number two, Sam's grandma, who's on her own, lives in like a senior, it's basically like an apartment complex, but only for people of a certain age. And they're all bored out of their minds. And I'm like, oh my God, I could run a D&D game for them. So I was talking with Sam and I was like, do you think that I could get your parents to do a D&D game with us? And so I talked with Mom and she's super down. And I've now talked with Nancy. And I was saying on stream the other day, I asked Nancy if she wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons. And she was like, I don't know what that is. And it was this really strange moment for me where I was like, oh my God, some people don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is. Like that's like people in our age range, right? Like that's bizarre. That's so crazy to me. The idea of talking to somebody who's only like a few years younger than me and being like, hey, you know Dungeons and Dragons? And then be like, no. It's just wild to me. I was like, oh, Nancy, you're such an anti-nerd. It's amazing that you don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is. But yeah, so she was like, I don't know what it is, but yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. So now we just need to convince his dad to play. And then we'll have a team of 4 because Sam's going to play and he's going to help teach everybody. Omegan the Insane said, I don't think my parents would be up for the kind of D&D campaigns I would normally run. They're former career politicians, so they wouldn't approve of a world where you solve political issues by stabbing them in the face. I want to spend my quarantine writing a campaign. I've never done a like pre-made campaign. That's why I'm kind of excited to like reading through the sheep chase one. It's so delightful. Like it's what, 2 pages, and it's just like, here are the main characters, you know, you can make up whoever else you want to make up. Here's like their general vibe. If at the end this happens, then, you know, steer the story in this direction. If at the end this happens, steer the story in this direction. If really early on it goes completely off the rails, then like you're on your own.
Coffee drinking burrito babe.
Guns you down. Thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Oh, yeah, I need to play Ori. I need to play Murder by Numbers. I need to play Ori. There are lots of games. There are lots of games currently. Dude, I would love to have a campaign going where I could make like a cool map for people to play on. I think that would be so fun. What am I doing today? I can't really do anything. Well, that's not true. You're right. Somebody was like, you might not be able to use the pallets because they're treated. And they'll definitely be treated with international travel. I hadn't really thought of that. So now I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, because I was like, oh, I can totally use those pallets outside for like planter boxes. But now I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't do that. So I'm not sure. I don't know. In terms of game? Oh, like, what game am I going to play? I don't think that we're going to play anything during this stream. This is just going to be like a short, just hanging out stream. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in the right vibe, I don't think, to play something right now. And I don't know why. But I think I'm just like I'm a little tense, not really knowing how we're going to get groceries and things today. So I'll want to spend some part of the day before it gets too late figuring that out with Sam. But he's sleeping right now, and so is my child. So fuck it. We're just hanging out and we're just talking. But later today, so at like 7 GMT, I'm going to be streaming again. 9 o'clock is around the time that I normally start with Tiri. So that'll be Final Fantasy XIV time. But from 7 to 9... David and I are going to stream together and tell you guys some Dodger Coffee stuff and play some stuff. So we cannot get groceries delivered. Every grocery delivery service is booked out through the week. So that's not an option. We can't get them delivered. Can't you just go to the store? No, I'm on lockdown because I have a cough and so does my daughter. And that would mean if I have it, then Sam has it. So he's also isolated, even though he's asymptomatic. So we can't leave the house. Sam's mom has offered, but she's offering it to everybody, so I feel really bad. But Sam's mom has offered to this evening go and grab a couple things, like just pantry stuff for us. I got my pasta maker working. I made some like pretty all right pasta last night. So I told her, like, if we can just have like flour and yeast, right? Just stuff like that. I would be able to make bread. I would be able to make pasta. Most canned goods are gone, but yeah. The ultimate D&D campaign is finding toilet paper. We're actually totally fine on toilet paper because when we first moved, I got the 45 roll who gives a crap box. So I got so much toilet paper all at once, and we still have tons left. So I'm like, we all right. We good. All the flour is gone at our stores. Oh God, maybe there's no flour either. Shit. I got that too. It couldn't have come at a better time. Yeah, for real. I'm gonna give a note, I think, to all of the people that are nearby. Although I'm not supposed to leave the house. I don't know. Um, but what a lot of people are doing, which I think is a good idea, is kind of trying to create like a community, group. So basically, like going to your immediate neighbors and slipping them a piece of paper that's like, here's my name, this is where I live, this is my phone number, if there's anything I can help with, let me know. And I think it's been nice for like older people that don't use like Facebook or Nextdoor or any of those, to have some kind of contact with another person who's like, if you need help, I got you, right? I can't be that person for anybody right now, which sucks, but I've thought about my neighbors, and I have no way to communicate anyway. So I've thought about being like, hey, this is who we are, this is where we live, here's our phone number, just FYI. On the plus side, Clarky, I'm teaching Clark to wash her hands. We've shown her a bunch of little videos of hand washing. And then I was like, do you want to try washing your hands? And she goes, okay. And looked really confused. And so we went and washed our hands. And now she's obsessed with it and wants to wash her hands constantly, which is like better than hating it, right? But it's literally today, every few minutes, mommy, wash your hands, and just left. And I was like, okay, I guess we're washing our hands again. So fortunately, we have a lot of lotion in the house because she has eczema that pops up on the back of her arms and on her legs. So I was like, well, thank goodness, because you're washing your hands so much. Yeah, I'm wondering if like seed trading groups are gonna turn into a thing. It's really hard to tell how this is all gonna progress. Um, but I know that there are groups online that you can typically find in your area that that do like seed trades. If you're interested in trying to like grow your own stuff, obviously it's going to take a while for things to grow. But if you're interested in growing your own stuff, yeah, you might be able to find somebody who's nearby who grows the thing that you want that can provide you seeds. What is the eczema from? I don't know. A lot of little kids get eczema that goes away as they get older, so it's hard to tell. We tried like switching up her shower stuff to be like ultra sensitive soap, baby soap sort of stuff. And that seemed to help. That and lotion has helped a lot. I had eczema all over my legs growing up, and it wasn't until I hit maybe like 20 or 21 that it like really started to go away. So I had flare-ups for a while, but it was never super bad, and it was never super itchy. It was just like, oh, there it is again. Just like annoying, really. I had eczema as a kid. It went away, and now it's coming back. Yeah, I know. Yeah, for some people, it's food related. It's what they're eating. And for some people, it can be stress. Stress can cause it. Remember when we were about to move and I had like eczema patches all over my cheeks? And I was like, where the fuck is this? I've never had anything like this on my face before. And everyone was like, that's stress. That's stress. Welcome. Oh, my dad has had shingles. Yeah, that's no fun either. Stress can cause everything. Isn't that so true? I was talking about that with my sister-in-law because she's breastfeeding, but they've had like some feeding problems that have created a situation where she's not producing as much as he needs because there was all kinds of like intermittent issues. And we were talking about how it's so difficult when you try to look up, how do I increase my milk supply, right? Like, I'm trying to feed my kid. What do I got to do? And everything is like, well, keep in mind that everything you eat and how much sleep you're getting and how much stress you're under and how you live your life entirely will affect your breast milk. Are you stressed out? You need to stop being stressed. Are you not sleeping? You need to start sleeping. Molly was like, how the fuck am I supposed to not stress and sleep a lot with a newborn? What the fuck are they talking about? just make more milk. But I remember looking that stuff up myself. I didn't have a huge issue with it. But yeah, I remember like feeling like basically all that I was doing with my day was feeding her and then trying to pump. And then by the time I was done pumping, she was hungry again. And I was like, but I just got rid of all of it. And being like, how are there people who are producing so much that they can feed their kid and freeze enough for like a year? That doesn't make any sense. And when you look it up, it's literally, are you stressed out? That's probably the problem. What are you eating? Is it not, the most incredible organic food ever made? It's probably the issue. Are you not sleeping? That's weird. Sleep more. It's like, fuck off. Whatever. A Valentine for everyone in chat who is self-isolating, especially my partner, Stellar Sprite. I love you. Sorry for farting. Shout out to Stellar Sprite who deals with the farts. Cheers. You ate a GMO? That's it. That's what happened. That's what killed it. I went to the doctor about insomnia once and their advice was go to bed earlier. Well, shit, I hadn't thought of that. Sorry for laughing. That sort of stuff. I was like, what did I come here for? Clark is so cute saying, okay, can I show you guys a cute Clark video? You might not be able to understand what she's saying, but I can translate for you. I am fluent in Clark at this point. Okay, so she has a bottle opener that is an owl. She really likes owls. She's always liked owls for some reason. She has a bottle opener in her hand that is an owl and is eating porridge while standing at the counter. It's the airplane owl.
Delicious.
The airplane owl.
Delicious.
Delicious. Oh my god, the kid's cute. Delicious. Where'd I get this chair from? Amazon. It was pretty cheap. It falls apart all the time. Ask anybody in chat. It breaks all the time. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but the color's good, right? Good color. Is she eating the airplane owl? I don't even... We never did the airplane thing with her. So it must be from watching shows or something where they do the airplane to feed a baby. Because she just decided... Well, she also just figured out the word airplane and can register like, oh, that's an airplane. So now she wants to pretend everything is an airplane. So she has like her little butterflies that we kiss goodnight. She's decided those aren't butterflies anymore. They're airplanes now. So she's really into airplanes, I guess. And, yeah. So she was just holding this metal owl and then grabbing porridge and going, here's the airplane owl. And then eating it herself. Does Sam still do Super Clark? He said yesterday he was so exhausted because she wanted to pretend to be a butterfly. So he was just walking. He was like holding her like this and helping her fly around the house as a butterfly. If any of you were watching the stream yesterday, you'll remember she left the room going, I'm butterfly. I'm butterfly. So Sam was like, she had me doing that all day. Just all day. Just all day. Hilarious. I love it. Yeah, everybody's always said, you know, as the parent, you will be able to decipher what they're saying, but you have to understand that other people aren't necessarily going to understand it. So she says things all the time where we're like, oh, that's so cute. Because we know what she's saying, and everybody else in the room will look at us like, what? Songs specifically. She sings all the time. So we know what songs she's singing, right? And other people will be like, yeah, it's good. Balrog Army's message was timed out by Purbot. Oh. Let me see if I can find it. I can't find it. Balrog Army, can you repost it? Reposted there. Oh, my kid Kayla saw the clip where you gave her the virtual hug. I told her 50K people saw it. She's still high from it. Corona is rough for us, but it's kept her distracted, so thanks for that. Oh, yeah, because I guess, yeah, she can't be around people really right now, huh? Oh, poor Kayla. What a sweetheart. Send her big hugs from all of us. It was the same thing with my niece. I had no idea what she said. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, we walked outside and Clark goes, wow, Daddy, look, windy. Because it was really windy outside. And my brother and sister-in-law were like, what? And Sam goes, yeah, honey, it's really windy, isn't it? She goes, windy, big, windy. She doesn't know. Big, windy, so big, windy. And they were like, oh, wind, of course. They were saying, it's so funny because, you know, she'll say things and we'll be like, that wasn't a word. And then you guys will repeat it back to her and we'll go, oh, obviously that's what she said. big windy. I love the New England Times. Your streams are getting me out of bed at a good time. Thank you. Sam came to bed last night, and I had messaged him asking for headache medicine because I woke up and my head was, there was just like so much pressure in my head. I was like, will you bring me headache stuff? So he did. And Clark, it was like a low key version of, Donald Glover walking in with the pizza while everything's on fire. He like walked in with headache medicine and water, and it was just me in bed like this, and the baby monitor was just Clark like scream singing to herself while like smacking something with a book. And he was like, it's 5:30 in the morning. What's going on? I was like, I don't know. He was like, okay, you take this. I'm going to go settle our child. I was like, okay. And he came back. And he was like, do you want to try and get some more sleep? I was like, I don't think that I'll be able to. So I rewatched, because I couldn't remember what happened in it at all. I rewatched the first season of Castlevania, because we still haven't watched season 2 and 3. So I rewatched the first season of Castlevania this morning, starting at 6:30. And Sam like climbed in bed and was like, I'm so tired. He told me not to turn it off though. So big husband points. He was like, no, your head hurts. You're not going to be able to sleep. Just keep watching. It's fine. It was very sweet. Are you going to play anything after chatting? Not today, no. But we'll be doing Final Fantasy XIV tonight, and we'll be doing something with David after we do some coffee announcements. Season 3 is really good. I know so many artists, and I follow so many artists. I can always tell when something has, like, banger characters. When suddenly my entire feed is drawings of a character I've never seen in my life. And then I'm like, who the fuck? Where did this person come from? Oh. Castlevania, got it. I want to watch Beastars, but I heard it's super horny. It's not about that. It's the way that I always pitch Beastars is it's adult Zootopia, right? So the themes that are in Zootopia of like, you know, carnivores have instincts and, you know, everybody else doesn't trust them, but like they're in a society together and like all of that sort of shit. Imagine all of that was put together in the Disney movie, but then if it had like an R rating, right? So like maybe people actually are getting eaten and yeah, animals are boinking each other and like, you know, it's I've only read the manga. I still haven't watched the anime. I was going to watch it while doing my next puzzle, but I don't have any puzzles left. So now I guess I never redo puzzles, but I can't get any new ones. So I guess I'm just going to start redoing puzzles. Beastars is on Netflix. Yeah. It's been put up now. No puzzles. I mean, I have tons of puzzles. They're just all puzzles that I've done. And I normally don't redo them. But why not? Who cares? It's a series, yeah. And it just happens to be horny. Yeah. Look, it's like any other R-rated thing. People are maybe gonna boink in an R-rated thing, right? It's just that in this, all of the people are animals, so... Does your mother-in-law have any puzzles? Oh my god, she tried to give me a puzzle. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. Oh, Mom, I've already done this one. She was like, what do you mean you've already done it? It's like, remember over Christmas, Dad gave me a puzzle to keep me occupied? I did it during Christmas. She was like, ugh. So what can you do? Yeah, I need to look. Oh god, if only my sewing machine was working. Dude, if my sewing machine was working, I could finally make all those baby booties. I could be doing so much shit with my sewing machine. And yes, I could hand sew. It takes a lot longer to hand sew. Although I have time. Maybe I'll just start hand sewing. I love the way you say booties. Booties with a D. You got nowhere else to go. It's true. Well, I bought a pattern a while ago. That's for like cloth boots. And it included like tiny like booties for a baby, like a newborn. So I wanted to make some cute booties for baby Ned. I wanted to make them before he showed up, but then I was like, I'll wait, because what if he's gigantic? And then the booties don't fit. So now I'll be able to make like ones that actually fit him. But in my mind I was like, but once I get my sewing machine fixed, I can bang out like 20 booties if I want. Right? I've been hand sewing. It takes so long, it's kept me occupied. So one of you guys a long time ago cross-stitched a thing for me that says "bless this mess" on it. And we just happened to be given some pillows along with the couches from my brother and sister-in-law that they didn't want anymore. They gave us some like really, really old couches for us to use in the meantime when we first moved here. And they came along with some like off-white, just little throw pillows. And the "bless this mess" looks so perfect on it that I started to hand sew it onto one of the pillows. I was like, this is so great. I could maybe get another thing like this made and put it on another one of the pillows. That would be super cute. So it's a square, right? So I got all along here, and then I held it up and realized it's just ever so slightly off. And Sam was like, it's not noticeable. It's noticeable to me, and I have to rip it all out and start again. I can't stand it. There's no way that I can live knowing that it's not perfectly on there. So I have to start from the beginning. It's like, I can't do it. I'm sorry, Sam. I just can't. I can't do it. Isn't that the purpose of "bless this mess"? No. I can't. How are things changing for you guys? I was talking about it a little bit earlier, that like it's really fortunate with the lifestyle that we have. We haven't really left the house in days anyway. But we don't know. Cool. Spilled coffee all over myself. It's whatever. We don't know if I have it or not. We don't know if Clark has it or not. And we're not about to go to the hospital and like take up valuable resources being like, hey, I don't have a fever or anything. So like my symptoms aren't that bad, but could you still test me anyway? So we're just, we're isolating for a while here. But our lives haven't really changed that much. The only thing that we're sweating about currently is like, how do we get groceries? That's literally the only thing. So this is it's technically a Chemex is like the brand, but it's a pour over coffee thing. So you basically you put a filter in this part. It's just like a really quick way to make coffee without using a Keurig or something. You put a filter in here, you put the ground coffee inside, and then you slow pour water from your kettle over it and let it drip into here. I'm still bad about the ratios with this because I always eyeball it. So sometimes the coffee is perfect and sometimes it's a little weak. But yeah, you just slow pour over the filter. There are lots of videos that are like, here's the perfect way to use one of these to get bomb ass coffee, right? But if you already have like a kettle for tea and whatever else, it's like a really easy way to be able to make coffee without it needing to be instant and without needing like a Keurig or something. A French press is always, or a cafetiere is also always going to be a quick thing to use. But with a French press, you want a coarser grind. And so going to the store and buying, like, if pre-ground coffee is going to be an easier thing for you, pre-ground coffee is going to work better with something like this than with a French press. So they're a good option. Cool, thanks. Over here we made grocery groups. A few people go shopping for the entire street and then distribute everything. Oh, that's smart. Taco shells were the only things sold out here. Amazing. That's actually pretty funny. Oofda, is that from Sweden? No, there are areas of America that say oofda. So this is like a Minnesota sort of mug. I've ordered my groceries home delivered. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. We can't get any groceries delivered here. Where we are, everything is booked out through the week. So no groceries will deliver. Which sucks. Oh, we live in a duplex. Us and the neighbors are shopping for each other. I'm shopping for diapers for the first time ever in my life. Stuff like that. Like, obviously the situation really sucks and it's awful that so many people are really worried about getting it. But I do really like the two things that have been associated with this topic that have warmed my heart are, number one, yeah, people like helping each other out and finally meeting their neighbors for the first time ever and, you know, offering to get them groceries or offering to help them somehow. And then number two is all of the stories about, like, with all of the people gone, wildlife is starting to act really differently. The post about Venice, like the water is clearing up and a bunch of animals are showing up in the water. Pollution is dropping. In Japan, the deer that like bow for food, obviously no people are around to give them food, so they've just been like, where did everybody go? And they're starting to travel like into the cities like looking for people, basically. Like, it's really interesting. Monkey gangs in Thailand. Yes, I saw that as well. There are like gangs of monkeys fighting each other for stuff. I think in Italy is where they had all of the photos of the wild boars just roaming the streets. It starts an interesting conversation, doesn't it? Because then it's between people saying, it's good to know that nature doesn't need us and in fact thrives without us. And then the other side saying, but we are part of nature. And like, surely we can fit into that somehow. Yeah, it always starts that convo, right? Somebody being like, nature, hell yeah. And somebody else being like, we're nature too. And I think it's fascinating. It's really interesting to watch those conversations. My mom and I are in risk groups, so we're self-isolating. A friend of mine is a cop, so she can't self-isolate unless she shows symptoms. But she's getting groceries for us. That's so nice. It's the It's the Mr. Rogers thing, right? I don't remember the exact quote, but you know, when scary things are happening, always look for the people who are helping. There are always helpers. Tired of this sticks. Oh, that's a really good title. Next time we do Hades, that is a very good title. Yeah, I still have not downloaded Murder by Numbers. I'm the worst. But I really want to play it. It sounds totally up my alley. Just haven't played it yet. I do have cats. And welcome, Out of Memory. Yeah, I have two cats. Sherlock and Watson. Sherlock is a big old black cat, and Watson is a tiny white cat. And they go on all kinds of adventures around my house and chirp at birds and shit. Will there be more Magical Diary? Yeah, I didn't finish up Magical Diary because my throat started hurting. And initially I was like, well, I've been sick off and on for months. Like, this is just more of that, right? But now both Clark and I have a pretty, it's not a bad cough, but when we really cough, it's like, it doesn't sound great. So, yeah, I was talking with some people and I was like, I don't know if I have it or not, but out of everybody that I know, I'm the one who's been on 4 planes since this whole thing started. 4 international planes since this whole thing started, and I did my best to be careful, and I wore a mask and I wore gloves and I did the whole 9 yards and wrapped a freaking scarf around my head. But what can you do? You know, like, maybe I have it. Do your cats go outside? No, we have like pretty high walls. So if Clark and I are walking around outside, we let them outside. They're Los Angeles cats. So the cold and the wet, they hate it. Not fans, but they still want to go outside. So typically they'll step outside for a hot second and then are like, I don't like this, and they go in. But they wouldn't be able to scale the walls anyway. So yeah, I have no worries about them, you know, getting out and killing a bunch of birds or anything. I would never trust a cat not to scale a wall. Do you know if Hades will go on sale anytime soon? Like actual release, or like be cheaper to buy? I don't think that the price is going to change before they've even released the game. I would be surprised. Are you gonna play Ori? I want to. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff I want to do. I was talking with Benji about, you know, Benji's like my bushcrafting friend. So, and yes, this is the same Benji that Sam plays with and whatever. So Benji and I will chat about like camping and wilderness stuff and all of that. And he was talking about the videos. There are videos that you can watch from Japan where people have bought like a dirt cheap old Japanese home and are fixing it up. And the videos are really cool. And I watched the first one forever ago, and I guess there's like 3 now. But he was talking about how, you know, we look at something like that and we're like, oh, that would be so cool to have a house, like an old Japanese house like that. That's so, the look of it, it's so romantic. We've like got preconceived notions about what that would be like, right? And I was like, well, it's the same here. And he goes, what do you mean? And I said, because I, as an American, and I think a lot of Americans who are watching right now could confirm, I, as an American, look at an old English cottage and I'm like, oh my God, I would love to live in an old English cottage. But I know for a fact that everybody who actually lives here is like, that is so much work. Why would you want that house? The roofing is a nightmare. You don't want that. The heating would just be awful. And he was like, oh my God, that's so true. He's like, I would never buy a cottage, not in a million years. But as people who don't have those kinds of homes around them, the idea of it, right, the romantic idea of like an old English cottage is like permeates somehow. So I can even say to myself, oh, it would be so drafty, and there would be leaks everywhere. It would have the thatched roofing. It's awful to try and fix. Like no insulate, like it would be awful. But there's still a part of me that was like, but it would be so quaint and cute, right? Things that aren't where we grew up, we have a different perception of them than the people who actually live there. It's like Under the Tuscan Sun. Oh my gosh, I actually love that movie. I haven't seen it in forever, but I really liked that movie. I grew up in a big city. I can never imagine living outside a big city. Just like the convenience of a city. Or like, I think some of the people that I know that grew up in a big city, the idea of being somewhere totally silent is really scary. I'm the opposite, right? I grew up on a farm in the middle of the woods where the only sounds that I would have at night were sometimes howling coyotes, and that was like pretty much it. So moving to Los Angeles, it was really difficult for me to sleep for a while because it's so loud. And when I go back to visit my family sometimes, when I go to sleep, I'm like, it's so quiet. But it's really quiet here too. So I've had that when we first moved here, I was like, oh my God, it's really quiet. But it's nice. How did you come up with your Twitch name? My like online name is Dodger, and I had a YouTube channel called Press Hard to Continue, where I did a gaming news show, and I wound up doing some like Let's Plays later on, and I did an anime news show and some other thing. I haven't really done anything on it in years now, but at a certain point I decided I wanted to do daily vlogs, and I kept up with those for a really long time, but I did them on a separate Twitch channel called Dexterity Bonus. And then when I needed to make my Twitch, I called it Dexterity Bonus, and eventually I renamed everything to Dexbonus just because it's easier. It rolls better. I'm not making a pun there. It just, mouth-wise, it rolls better. So that's it. I miss the Christmas vlogs. Yeah. It's hard with a kid now.
Welcome,
trying to balance, like, how would I do vlogs that didn't feel like they were putting a strain on, like, family life, I don't ever want it to feel like I'm using Clark for views. And I don't want to ever do like a series or anything that is entirely like focused on Clark. And I think because so much of my life when I'm not streaming, so much of my life is just me with Clark, it would be really, really hard to do it. So the last time that I did Vlogmas, I tried to do like lots of different weird little things. It wasn't a vlog thing really. There was a cooking thing, and I did my eyebrows once, and it was all just weird stuff, and it was fun, but it wasn't Vlogmas really, you know. And I still don't know what the answer would be to do any kind of like a vlogging thing without it just being a lot of Clark. And I know that you guys love to see Clark. It's just a personal feeling of I don't want to exploit my kid in my content ever. So at least you don't make a Facebook profile for Clark. No. I've thought before about making a private Instagram for Clark that just like family and friends could follow. But it's kind of, it doesn't really make sense to do it anymore because Instagram introduced the close friends thing with Instagram stories. For any of you who don't really use Instagram, there's now when you go to post something to your story, and stories stick around for 24 hours, I think. Now when you post things to your story, you can say, I want this to be public, like I want it to go everywhere, or I want it to only go to this list of people who are like my close, I think they call it close friends on there. So that list is literally just my like really good friends and my family. So I'll just like spam that with stuff of Clark for my family to see. And so they really like that because they, you know, are able to easily keep up with Clark and all that. And I don't have to make a separate Instagram thing for her or anything that just like holds a bunch of pictures of her. My room is clean. Thank you. I try. I'm trying. All of our soundproofing stuff that we haven't used yet is in here. I put, oh my God, I got like thin foam to put along the bottom of the door that was supposed to fill in the gap beneath the door to help with sound, right? So I was like, oh, well, there's like a metal bar along the floor. Anyway, I could just put the foam on that metal bar and it should do the same thing, right? I don't have to like take the door off the hinges and then put it on the bottom of the door. I should be able to just put it on the floor, and like if it still closes, like hopefully it fills up enough of the gap. It turns out that the gap basically does this. It starts off like this, so it's perfect size for the foam, right? So it starts off like this and then it goes like this. So it's pinched on the sides, and then the center is way wider. So even with the foam there on the sides, it was like perfectly sealed, and there was still a huge gap like under the center of the door. Like, okay. So now I feel like I need to, if I want to do that same thing still, I would need to get thicker foam and then cut it, right? Basically like shape it to the bottom of the door. I had the stream muted for a call and I got confused by Dukes' hand motions just now. I'm not going to tell you what I was talking about. You can just come up with whatever you want. Oy vey. Ooh la la. I don't know. I don't think the door is crooked. I think it just, the floor is doing a weird thing there. Or sand the door. It's not our house and it's not our door. So if we wind up buying this house, we are gonna rip up all this carpet and insulate the floors and like do all kinds of more intensive soundproofing up here. That's not an option right now because we don't own the house. So we're trying to do things that will like band-aid it basically. And one of the band-aids that I had thought of was, oh, there's a little gap under the door. We can just get some foam to go along the bottom of the door that will help seal The door. That makes sense, right? Do you have an option to buy the house? The guy really doesn't want it. He really wants to get rid of it. So we have 6 more months on our lease, and then we can kind of like assess. That's also kind of nice because in 6 months we'll have a better idea like economically what's going on. So is the soundproofing really bad in the house? This way it's bad. So if Sam's in that room and I'm here, he's actually pretty dampened, right? Some of you guys have watched when we've both been streaming at the same time. I don't think you guys can hear me on his stream, or vice versa, really. It's rare to be able to hear Sam in here, I think. So this way, it's fine. But this way, it's bad. So if Sam is getting really upset on his stream, you can hear him as though he's right outside the door in Clark's room, which is on a completely different floor. So, and sometimes when I'm in the living room, which is, so these 2 rooms on their own are the 3rd floor of this house. I can be on the bottom floor and hear Sam sometimes. It's wild. It's the floors specifically. And a lot of people who are from England have said, yeah, typically for whatever reason, they don't really insulate the floors. Like if you pull up the wood, there's just a big like open gap in there. So when people need to soundproof, a lot of times they'll just pull up the wood and then fill in the gaps with like insulation and stuff. So that's what we would want to do. But we don't own the house, so we can't do that yet. Yeah, we live in England. My husband is English. My child is half English. We have a lot of family here. And Clark has a lot of little cousins here to grow up with. So Sam lived in America with me for quite a few years before we took the plunge to come here. Why don't you have an English accent yet? I'm working on it. Do you like the location you're in? We do, yeah. Our like direct neighbors are really, really nice. And it's a really secure house, which is awesome. So for us, it's peace of mind for sure. And we don't like, there's just like open fields around the nearest village we would have to walk to, right? We're not like close to a village center or anything like that. It's pretty quiet. It's pretty nice. And once we have a car, it'll be easy going to get places. So, yeah. I'm from Southern England. I've lived in Yorkshire for 17 years and I still don't have a Yorkshire accent. Yeah, I've said before, I don't think that I'll wind up with an accent really. I think that there are some words that I'll wind up saying differently. If even only because I have a child who's learning how to talk here. And so there are words like zebra that I've started saying as zebra because that's how they say zebra here, right? So I don't want to be confusing her. So there are some words that I'm saying differently for her benefit, and they might stick with me. Garage is one. I've started saying garage without really thinking about it. So that sort of stuff, I think. And then the inflections of my sentences will probably change. So I'll pronounce words the same way that I always have for the most part, but the up and down of how I say things and how I end sentences will probably change. I was born in America and grew up in North Yorkshire for 18 years, and I don't have a Yorkshire accent either. Aluminium. I don't think I could ever say aluminium. Like on purpose. I can't imagine. A can't believe you've done this. That's such a good video. You mean the car hole? Yeah, the garage, the car hole, you know. You already say cafetiere. I don't. I always call it a French press, but I'll follow it up with a cafetiere because that's, again, what people call it here, and I don't want anybody to get confused. So, like when speaking to Sam's grandparents, right, I made them coffee with the mocha pot because I finally figured out how to do a pretty good cup of something with a mocha pot. And they were like, "Oh, what are you making coffee with? Like, how did you make coffee when you were back in America, et cetera, et cetera?" And I was like, "Oh, we used a French press a lot," and then had a beat where I had to go, "A cafetiere. We used a cafetiere a lot." I'm English and I call it a French press. Only now I understand why that sometimes confuses people. I think it depends on, yeah, if it seems like a lot of people know what a French press is if they have an interest in coffee. Otherwise, they'll kind of vaguely know what a cafetiere is. It seems like, so far from interacting with people, the people that I know that drink a lot of coffee are like, right, a French press, you know? I think the press in the word helps. I think so too. Because a coffee press, I think, creates a more of an image that is what the thing actually is. Does that make sense? Side note, we're getting a lot of followers today. Thank you. All you new people who are showing up and hanging out and deciding that you want to be here, or just realizing that you can't talk unless you follow anyway. Either way, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for hanging out, everybody. Nova Curse and Link9126, thank you both so much for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang.
Drinking burrito babe.
We're just hanging out. We're just, spending isolation together, as you do. Do you drink your coffee black? I either drink it black or with one sugar. I've got it down. I've been decreasing sugar more and more. Astra, thank you so much for gifting subs. If you were gifted a sub by Astra the Super Mage just now, you should have a pop-up in chat that says, "Do you want to thank this person?" And you should, because it's very generous of them. And if you miss out on it, if you've been gifted a sub and you're not sure who gave it to you, there is always a bell symbol in the top right, and that's all of your notifications for your specific account. And it'll always say if you've been gifted a sub in a specific channel and who gifted it to you, so you can take a sec to say thank you. What makes them the super mage? I don't know, but I'm not about to question it. They're a super mage. Are you hyped for new Doom? I still haven't played the really good Doom that came out not that long ago. Oh yeah, let me bring up, hold on. Let me bring up our rewards. Got lots of Valentines to read. The cheers has been redeemed for this stream, so cheers, chat. Let's get through isolation together from Distraction Comet. Fiax redeemed a Valentine and said, "Stay safe, y'all. The world is better with all of you in it, and there's always sunshine after the rain." Dona Girl said, "Another Valentine for chat, because you deserve the love. Stay safe." Dioranite said, "A Valentine for everyone in chat who is self-isolating." Oh, we already read this one, but it's still cute. "Especially to my partner, Stellar Sprite. I love you and sorry for farting." It's just good. PG Wipeout said, let's all telework together. And Criminal redeemed a Valentine with a little emote. Sir Chunks, redeemed the cheers at the beginning. I'm so sorry that I missed that. Shall we all do a cheers together? I've got my Oofdo mug. We're talking about coffee anyway. If you've got a Beverly of some sort, feel free to use that. You can always fist bump the screen, whatever you'd like to do. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. All of you who are new, welcome. I hope that you stick around. I hope you come back. We do play games here, I swear. It's just not that kind of day for me right now. So we're just hanging out and chitty chatting. So I hope you're cool with that. But we've got a really good community here. I hope that we can all cheer one another up, keep each other company. And yeah, I just appreciate all of you. Thanks for being here. 3, 2, 1, cheers. Follow up. Eyebrow wiggle. Follow up on my getting more zero waste things journey. So I got deodorant. I got a zero waste deodorant, and I like it. It's aight. It's not like really strong smelling like, a normal one would be. But I like it. It smells nice. The toothpaste tablets. They're okay. By the time I'm done brushing my teeth, it's fine. There's no like lingering weird feeling in my mouth. My breath smells amazing. But the very beginning of brushing my teeth sucks. So for any of you who haven't seen these before, I was telling Chad I've been trying to make more earth-friendly, more zero-wastey sort of choices with things that I buy. Just to try them out and see if I like them. And if I do, then great. I can continue to make that choice. One of the things that has taken off a little bit is toothpaste tablets. So instead of buying like a tube of toothpaste, you get little tablets. They basically look like mints. You get little tablets, and to brush your teeth, you throw it in your mouth, you chew it up a little bit, and then you start brushing your teeth. And you can get them with fluoride, without. I got with fluoride. And it becomes like a light toothpaste in your mouth, basically. So a lot of people had said that it's really chalky, and it is. It is. I would really hate it if by the time I was done brushing my teeth, it still felt gross in my mouth. It does not at all. It's literally like the very beginning of brushing your teeth. You've got this really dry tablet that you've chewed up in your mouth, and you're just like, Pros. Number 1, it totally works. It totally works. And again, by the time you're done brushing your teeth, it's fine. It's basically like you brush your teeth like normal. Number 2, really, really good for travel. You can take like a whole little tin full of these things, and nobody's going to stop you at TSA or whatever. They're just tablets. There's no liquid, right? And number 3 is that you're not getting a toothpaste tube that you're having to figure out what to do with that might not recycle in the first place. So I bought like a whole thing of them, so I'm going to keep using them. Today I tried a thing where I put a little bit of water in my mouth first and then started chewing up the tablet. That did not work. As you can probably imagine, because I had to open up my mouth to start brushing my teeth and was like, well, what am I going to do with all this water in my mouth? So that did not work out. But I'm going to figure it out. You can get toothpaste powder at Lush that you dip your brush into. Oh, that's a good option to try as well. Oh my gosh, I totally know what you're talking about. Yeah, when you go to the dentist and they would have you chew up those like purple or pink tablets and be like, anywhere, when you open your mouth, anywhere that has purple or pink on it is places that you aren't brushing well enough. And I swear to God, I would chew up this thing and then go, and it was just purple everywhere. I was like, oh no. I hated this so much. I think the next thing that I'm going to try, yeah, is wetting the actual tablet down a little bit. Because they are super dry. I don't think it's going to just disintegrate in my hand. But if I just like really quickly put it under the water and then throw it in my mouth, it might make a difference. It might not. But I'm going to keep trying shit. Isn't that interesting? There are some things that we're starting to look at now that were the norm back in the day, right? These like more powdery based toothpaste options and razors, right? Anybody who's like, I really don't want to have a plastic razor where I'm having to swap out the head constantly. It's just not, if I'm trying to be more conscious about how much plastic I'm using, then it doesn't make sense to do that. And so now people are starting to get like actual old style, not like razors, but razors where you just swap out a metal head and all you're throwing away is like the metal. And I know I keep watching videos of people who are like, yep, I'm trying out this razor. Hopefully I don't cut myself. And there are always a bunch of people in the comments like, I am X amount of years old and this is what my parents used to use before they started to make the plastic ones. Like, this is what people used before, Safety razors, that's what they're called. Yeah. And it's way cheaper. Holy shit. If you get a safety razor and then you can get like a box with fucking a ton of the razors, and it's so much cheaper. It's so much cheaper. But I'm so scared of cutting myself. I need to just commit and try it. The more we change back. Ain't that just the truth? Or you become Sam and just don't shave. Yeah, there's that. Look, if I could grow a luxurious beard, I would. Fact. Now I want to see dudes with a beard. If only. Look, the pictures of like beautiful dwarven maidens from fantasy with like beautiful braided beards and shit. I'm like, that could have been me in an alternate universe. Not today, I guess. Beard Duke, the dream. Have you tried Sea of Thieves? I have. I played it a bit with my friends. Yeah. I didn't, once they did like the Kraken update and all that stuff, I didn't play any of that. But yeah. Yeah, there's a reason that I make jokes about being a Lalafell. I realize that I'm not quite stocky enough to pull off the like fantasy dwarven thing. In my dreams, maybe, but I'm just not built that way. I'm not a twig, but I'm not like stocky. I'm just boring. You have to be the potato. I'm trying. Look, there are times when my legs basically just do this, and that's the Lalafell look. So
Welcome, you fine cat-loving, coffee-drinking burrito babe.
what you got against twigs? I have nothing against twigs. Absolutely nothing. I'm just saying I'm not the sort of person that you're going to look at and be like, "Oh, what a beautiful, delicate flower." I'm also not going to be the girl where you're like, "Man, she's short, but she looks like she could knock me the fuck out." I'm neither. I'm neither. My dream is to just work out so much that I am. But I don't know if that's ever gonna. I'm in my 30s now. I need to manage expectations of myself. You're dangerously unpredictable. Yeah, could I knock you out? Maybe. Am I Jessica Jones under all of this optimism? Perhaps. Noi from Dora Hey Doro. The dream, right? I'm literally the opposite of her, but yeah, the dream. Moeka! Hello, how are you? There is no age limit on being buff. That's true. That's true. Sam keeps pointing out like goals for me, because I'll say to him like, I don't mind the shape of my body. When I was younger, I did. I really hated it. I wanted to like cut off my hips entirely. I hated them. But it was like twofold, right? It was number one, that I really wanted to be able to pull off the more like androgynous looking clothes for my age range, and I felt like I really couldn't. And number two, that I was just so pear-shaped that I really hated it. And the goof here in the end is that that's the best shape I was ever in my entire life. I was dancing every day. I was exercising all the time, right? Like I ate really well because my mom was really good about giving us like good food. It's the best shape I was ever in. But, you know, we're never satisfied with ourselves. It's the sad reality of life. Hey, you're lovely. Anyways, so at this point now, the things that I've had issues with my whole life, I'm like, that's just who I am, and that's my body type, and it's chill. It's fine. Part of that is finding people that have a similar body type to you and saying, they look good, right? That's one of the things that helped me, was finding people who were more like pear-shaped or had hips, and acknowledging like they look really nice, or like they look very attractive. I really like the way that their whole thing is going. And it helps you appreciate more what's going on with you, I think. So, yeah, so sometimes I'll talk with Sam and be like, I like the shape of myself. I just wish that I was stronger, right? Like I wish that I was more toned. If I was working out again, probably my body shape would stay the same, which I'm fine with. But I would be stronger, right? And I would be more toned. And so sometimes we'll be watching things and he'll like do that for me. Like I won't, he'll see somebody and be like, yo, like that? Is that what you're looking for? Because she looks good. Be like, she does look good. She looks great. Yeah, like that. That's what I'm looking for right there. Oh, Mizu Noise, thank you. Bodies are cute in general. I couldn't have a type if I tried, right? I feel that. Honestly, one of the other things that sort of helped me was when I took my costuming class. It taught me a lot because it was a history of costumes class. And because it was a history of costumes, which was basically like, here's what people were wearing at different points in history, it really did touch on like, these were the sort of body types that were attractive at all of these different points in time. And I had a moment in that class where I was like, holy shit, we just can't make up our minds, can we? It's not like there's nothing new under the sun. There's never a point in history where it's like, yep, the exact same thing looks good. As like 100 years ago, the exact same thing was looking good to us that looks good right now. Like there have always been all different body types. There have always been, you know, like a wide range of people. And depending on the time period you were in, something totally different was like the hot shit. So like, fuck it. Like, you know, fuck it. I can't wait to be hot in 100 years, Kappa. It's more just like when people say, well, this thing, you know, is really attractive because our ape brains have told us that it is attractive since forever. It's like, really? Because, I don't know, like 40 years ago, they would have said a totally different thing. And 40 years before that, they would have said a totally different thing. So I don't need y'all telling me that biologically, whatever I am is or is not attractive. I didn't choose this shit. This is the prison school butt argument. I don't remember the prison school butt argument, but it makes me want to rewatch Prison School. Prison School is like the weirdest thing for me to have gotten into. It is, especially when I try to pitch it to somebody, it is nothing like what I normally enjoy at all. I don't like cringe. I don't like ecchi stuff. And it's both. I don't why I like it so much. Prison School is weird. It's a very strange thing for me to have really enjoyed. Y'all remember when ankles were hot? Isn't it weird? I don't know what it is about Prison School. There's a lot of comedic value in it. Maybe that's why. Maybe. But there are so many moments. You know, like, those of you who are on the same vibe as me. You know when you're watching something and you feel like you're having to pause it every maybe 10 or 15 minutes because something so secondhand embarrassment or cringy is happening that you just can't? And, like, you have to pause it. Like, you have to. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I 100% do that with Prison School, but I still power through. Like, a lot of stuff like that, if I'm feeling like I'm having to just walk away that often, I'm like, I'm not enjoying this. I have to. But with Prison School, I'll pause it and be like, this is the worst. But I need to know what happens. Like, I have to know. And I've even read the manga now at this point. So I know what's going to happen, but I'm still like, I have to watch it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't pause it. I just walk away and hope it's past when I come back. Yeah, I found that most of the time the things that I pause for don't last as long as my brain tells me it's gonna last. Like, if something really cringy is about to happen, I convince myself, like, oh my god, this is gonna be the longest, 5 minutes of my life. Most of the time, the scene, it's maybe 10 more seconds of that scene, and then it moves on to something else. So yeah, I've started trying not to pause it, and trying to just, like, do multiple things at the same time. So if something is about to happen and my impulse is to pause it, I'll pick up my phone. So I'll still listen to it, but I'll try to pick up my phone so I'm not really watching it. So that I can, like, if it's just awful, I can be like, Oh, 2 times speed. I've never thought of doing that, actually. I've never thought to do 2 times speed, but that's a good idea. Are you still watching it if that's what you have to do? I mean, there are plenty of shows where overall it's not that kind of a show. It's just there are occasional moments where you're like, ugh, I don't want that. Right. Miscommunication. Miscommunication is one of the number one situations in which I'm like, I hate this. When anime is rife with this, and it drives me crazy. But fortunately, anime, when I watch it, typically is in Japanese, so I can literally just be on my phone for a minute and be like, is that scene over? Okay, sick. Fantastic. Miscommunication drives me crazy because it'll be any of those situations where if only person A had been honest with person B to begin with, we wouldn't be in this stupid situation that I'm now having to sit through. That's the general formula. Right? I hate it. Or person A has asked person B a point blank question and person B should really just be honest. Or person A has brought up a topic in which person B has valuable information, and yet for some reason person B won't fucking give the valuable information to person A. All of those situations I hate. I hate. Like, person B knows that Jimmy is down the well, and yet when person A brings up, we should really be looking for Jimmy, person B goes, yeah, we really should. You know where Jimmy is! You know where Jimmy is! And then later, we're going to have a big old conversation where Jimmy's dead in the well. And everybody's like, man, if only we had known about the well. And then we'll have a fucking scene where person B is like, I have a confession. I knew about Jimmy in the well. I hate it. Anyways. A lot of romance stuff falls back on this like the only way for us to create drama that makes you wonder will they won't they is for the two main characters to not communicate well. It's not interesting. It's just bad writing. That's right. I'll say it. It's just bad writing. It's justice for Jimmy. Hashtag save Jimmy. This whole topic has upset me. I'm sorry. If any of you are currently writing a story where one of those person A, person B situations has happened and you're feeling personally attacked right now, I'm very sorry. Writing is one of the most difficult things in the world. I have watched my best friend do 3 rewrites of her novel at this point, and she wants to pull her hair out. But, you know. Writing is very difficult. And just FYI, if one of those scenes is in your thing, and you're like, I just didn't know how else to resolve it, it's very frustrating for a reader/viewer to go through that scene and think to themselves, why? Okay, here's another thing that's, it's much lighter. It's not quite as aggressively hated in my home and in my person and in my heart and in my brain. But another thing that drives me crazy is when a character is supposed to be a genius and I figure out something a full 30 minutes before they've figured it out. I hate it. And I can acknowledge that sometimes, as the viewer, we are given more information than the main character is. Like, maybe we've seen, like a shadowy figure do something, and main character doesn't know about it. It's not their fault, right? But, like, if I'm watching a Sherlock Holmes so-and-so, and I've figured out who did it and in what capacity, like, way before him, I have a problem with that. Dodger is a genius, humble brag. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm the opposite. Not the opposite. I've got, like, a perfectly fine brain. I'm not a genius. I'm not a dummy. My brain just works, at, like, a pretty good capacity. I should not figure out genius things quickly. It's not mean to say that I have a perfectly fine brain. IQ test for Dukes. I did an IQ test when I was in high school, I think. My dad is one of those really sweet parents that is always like, you are so smart. Has told me my entire life that I'm like a genius child. And I'm not. Like in terms of like measurements, right? I'm not going to take an IQ test and have it be like, wow, holy shit, what's going on in your brain? That's some beautiful mind shit. Like, that's just not who I am. I told this story like a while ago when Clark was pretty young, but I had a conversation with my parents where I was talking about how I didn't think that I was particularly smart, right? I think that there are positives about me for sure. I think that I'm kind and I get along well with people. I think that I'm charismatic, but I don't think that I'm particularly smart. And my dad was like, well, do you think that Clark is smart? And I was like, yes, for sure. Clark is crazy intelligent. Like, she's so, so smart. And my dad was like, it's funny because Clark reminds us so much of you. Like, she reminds us so much of what you were like when you were a kid. So from our perspective, you know, it's really sad for us to hear you say that you're not smart because we think that you're very smart. And my mom, I know, it was very sweet. And my mom did a follow-up of like, sometimes we decide what we think is an important form of intelligence, right? Like, we'll look at ourselves and say, well, I'm not good at this, this, or this, and so I'm not smart. But sometimes more what it is that we are smart in specific ways that we ourselves don't value enough or that we don't see enough potential in. And so one of like the journeys of life, right, is us trying to acknowledge these are the ways in which I'm intelligent. These are the things that I excel at, and they are important and they are valuable. It's very sweet. Yeah, my parents are very sweet. Thank you, Coop. How do you keep your shelves so clean? I literally put stuff on these shelves 2 days ago. I just moved into this office. Well, when we moved, I started working out of this office. And there was nothing back there until literally 2 days ago. So don't count yourself short. I'll fuck this all up real quick. Don't worry. We all want to be buff dum-dums. Look, yeah, if like if I'm not going to be able to ace an IQ test, can't I at least be ripped? Like, what's going on here? What time did you say the Dodger coffee stream will be? 7 GMT. So right now it is 3. So in 4 hours, we'll be doing a stream with David and announcing some Dodger coffee stuff. And yeah, it'll just be a short Dodger coffee thing. And then I'll be swapping over to play Final Fantasy XIV with Tiri. We did Ruby Weapon last week. So it's probably just going to be us, redoing Eden stuff and all that.
Welcome, you fine cat-loving, coffee-drinking burrito babe.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Running in Dreams, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. So yeah, next time that you're feeling down on yourself, number one, try to rephrase the way that you're saying things, right? It's not, oh, I'm so stupid or, oh, I'm so dumb. It's, like a small mistake doesn't determine whether or not you are a dumb person. That's not the way that it works. Everybody, misses something or whatever. So speak more kindly about yourself. And also try to think about the things that you are good at and value them, right? We are living in our own brains all the time. So it's difficult sometimes for us to be like, I don't know. There's nothing special about me because this is how my brain has always worked. But everybody's brain works differently. And there are going to be things that you think about differently from everybody else. And it may not ever come up in your life or like determine anything in your life. But, you know, I think that it's nice sometimes to remember that my brain is different because it's mine. You know? We are the brain. We are the brain. Speak to yourself like you would speak to the child version of you. I've heard people say that too. Or like make a journal entry to like young you. Like what would you say positively to help out a younger you? I think depending on what your childhood was like, that would be more or less cathartic, you know? I had a pretty good childhood. Of course, like we had plenty of things to work through. I think every family does, but overall, being an adult now and knowing people with very different and very similar lives, I can acknowledge that my childhood was pretty good. Yeah. I definitely shouldn't speak to myself like I speak to my son. He's 3.5 months old. Hello. Hello, sweetheart. How are your little toesy woesies? Are they cute? It's true though, right? With my kid, I definitely try to speak to her in more positive ways and like help her work through things and try to make sure that even when she's really upset that she knows that I'm here with a hug. I'm always here with a hug waiting for you. Even if you're throwing a tantrum, if you're being real difficult, I will hug you, girl. Like I'm here. I think we need to be there for ourselves too, right? Like it's even mentally to just be like, you know what? I'm like having a real rough time right now, but I still like myself. Still looking for Jimmy. Poor Jimmy. Did he die in that well? Or is he a ghost? Which would be both, now that I think about it. You know what? I'm doing all right. Yeah. There's a shirt in an Etsy store. Well, there's a shirt in an Etsy store that I've wanted forever that has a skeleton holding a scroll and it says, "Be gay, do crimes." And I just think it's so funny and I've just never bought it. But they also have another shirt in there that I think it's a 20-sided die and I think it's on an 11 and it says "doing okay." It's good. It's good stuff. Come on, focus up. Thank you. My friend got that shirt. It's such a good shirt. I want it so bad. I wonder if I can find it. Hold on. Be gay, do crimes shirt. Oh no, so many people make them. Is this the right one? This is the one! Be gay, do crimes. just makes me laugh. I must have this shirt. It's so good, right? It's such a good shirt. The only thing that would make it better is if the shirt material was rainbow. They do a lot of like, a lot of their stuff is black and white or like grayscale. So, oh, they have a pink version of it though. Oh my god, beige. Oh, right, yeah, it's not as good. The like inverted color black and white is so good. It's my favorite one. Oh, long-time follower, first-time sub. Really needed this for my sanity. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. I'm sorry we keep, like, diving into, like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Serious shit? I didn't necessarily want that to be the case with this stream. I wanted us all to be able to take our minds off of shit, but instead I'm like, let's talk about self-love. Hi, John. Yes, I was telling everybody that Clarky learned how to wash her hands today, and now she's obsessed and wants to wash her hands constantly. So there's that. I'm glad. I'm glad, guys. Rainbow is not a good color for crimes. I guess. I guess there's also that. Thank you, because I'm in hell. I bet. Yeah, I messaged my sister. I haven't heard back from her yet. But I messaged my sister, like, I'm sure that life is rough right now working in a hospital. So... currently working from home indefinitely. Bam! Yeah, I am. For anybody who missed it, I am on potentially 2-week isolation here now. Because this cough will not go away and I don't know what I got. So I'm not leaving the house. None of us can leave the house. So our current, like, for the most part, doesn't really affect how we live our lives. We do basically everything from home anyway. But need groceries. So that's our current sitch. About Clark and Sam. Clark also has a cough. And Sam lives with us, so he probably has whatever we have, but he's asymptomatic. We don't know for sure that we have the virus, but I'm not about to go to a hospital and be like, test me, even though my symptoms aren't bad. I can just stay in the house for a while. That's fine. I don't need to be, like, taking up resources, so... Aren't children immune? No, Dr. John is in here, so he can fact check me. But from what I understand, kids have tended to have lighter symptoms. It doesn't seem to be as aggressive with kids. So either they don't have any symptoms really, or they have really like simple symptoms, like they just have a small cold, but they can carry it and they can give it to people. So have you stocked up on toilet paper? Everybody keeps asking that. I bought, when we first moved here, I bought the 45 roll Who Gives a Crap box. Who Gives a Crap is a company that makes toilet paper from recycled materials. So when we first moved here, I was like, I don't want to think about toilet paper for a while, so I'm just going to get one of those huge things of toilet paper. And that way we'll just have toilet paper for a while. And it just worked out. We still have tons of toilet paper left. So yeah, it's good. They make two different types. So there's bamboo toilet paper, because bamboo is very sustainable. It's basically a weed. So there's bamboo toilet paper that you can get, and then there's the toilet paper from recycled materials that you can get. The bamboo toilet paper is more expensive, I think, so I just went for the recycled. That's a hilarious name for a TP company. It is. Yeah. Bye, Coop. Thanks for hanging out, and thank you for the sweet message. Look, like, more than ever, people are talking about bidets right now. Bidets are not really a thing in America. They are now. Everybody's buying them now, which is fascinating. I haven't tuned in for over a year and it's still the same vibe. I'm gonna take that as a positive. Also, welcome back. I've never used one. They are weird. They are weird at first. People get to a point where they like feel gross if they don't have a bidet, and that's fine. I've never consistently had a bidet in my life, so when I've tried to use one, it's always like it's just weird. It's just something you have to get used to. What you can do, so when I had Clark, a common thing that that people will wind up having is basically like a squirt bottle, because you like tear and get all messed up down there, right, when you have a baby. And so you need to be cleaning it without wiping. So, or just like cleaning it somehow and then patting it is basically all that you're able to do, because you don't want to rip anything up. You don't want to hurt yourself more, right? So you wind up with just like a squirt bottle with warm water, and I put witch hazel in mine too to like help with the pain and stuff. And that worked perfectly fine too. If you're like, oh my God, all the bidets are gone. If you're able to just have any type of a squirt bottle and can just put some warm water in it and just squirt your butthole, it works. It works perfectly fine. A friend saved hers and was like, I'm so glad I saved this. These are the pro tips I come to this channel for. There you go. That's for you. Yeah, or you could, just try to time out your like really big poops for when you're also going to take a shower. I don't really care how you live your life. Obviously I do, because I talk with you guys about how you live your lives all the time. But I can pretend. I can be really tsundere about this. I don't care what your butthole's like. I don't give a shit. Ha 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 ha. This is 2 streams in a row now that we've had an in-depth conversation about poop, and I don't like it. I don't like it, and I don't want this to become a thing, and it stops now. It's over. No poop allowed. No more poops. A banned topic. We're just gonna put the word poop on a blacklist. See how often it pings. Did I tell you guys I got my pasta maker working? Oh my gosh. I watched some videos of people using the same model of pasta maker that my mommy got me. And I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to try this again. And I made linguine last night. It still wasn't perfect, but it was so much better. Way, way better. So, I'm really, really hoping that we're able to find flour. Because then I can make bread and pasta and we're good. Like 20 times? I'm sorry. Well, the first couple of times that I tried to use it, it was not good pasta. It was really, really bad. So it was like nice edible pasta yesterday. Can't you make lasagna noodles with you? You can. You can make lasagna, which also could double as like ravioli, right? It's just strips of pasta to do whatever you want with. It makes penne, it makes linguine, and it makes spaghetti. So it's really nice, yeah. Now more than ever, people should do meal prep and freeze it. Dude, right? It sucks because I was trying to... When I realized that I was sick, I was sort of like low-key, like days ago, right? Maybe like over a week ago. I was just like, I don't know what I have. It's probably just a cold. But either way, there's a baby in the family and I don't want to get the baby sick. So I was avoiding people anyway. We don't have a car. And it felt like overnight it went from, there's no toilet paper at the grocery stores to there's nothing in the grocery stores. And now Sam and I are like, fuck. Because we can't leave the house. So, it sucks, man. It sucks. Shout out, side note, because I think it deserves to be said. Shout out to everybody who is doing grocery deliveries, who is working at the supermarkets, who is working at the hospitals, working at the pharmacies to get people medications. Like, y'all are amazing and so patient and are working your butts off. And we all appreciate it very much. Very, very much. No, I even checked like bulk order sites, and all of them have a banner at the top that's like, due to such a huge influx of orders, like we can't promise any of your food to you until April. It's wild. It's wild out here, man. My boyfriend bought napkins because there wasn't any TP. Tell him to get a squirt bottle. By streaming, you're being one of the helpers. Oh my gosh. I don't see it that way, but thank you very much. Look, I just figure I was in kind of a stressed out mood today. I know that a bunch of y'all are in stressed out moods. I have plenty of friends with like generalized anxiety and stuff who are just like, I can't stop thinking about it, right? So I figured rather than play a game, it might be nice for all of us to just hang out and chat. A lot of us are probably like isolated at home by ourselves, or or, living with people that we don't really interact with that much anyway. So I just thought that it would be nice. But we keep winding up talking about it, which I'm sure doesn't help. Any of you guys who are like, I'm so excited to go to a stream and not talk about this shit. I'm betraying you. I'm very sorry about that. But it is very top. I mean, it is. That is true. I have got a message. Yes. Yes. All of my friends that I texted like, all right, are we doing a lockdown D&D? Are like, I'm down. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Now we got to figure out who's going to DM it. I still really want to try DMing a Fate game. I still haven't done that. So I could maybe pitch that I would DM it, but I'm also wanting to run the game for Sam's family. So I don't know. I'm not like a skilled dungeon master yet. I watch people like Jesse. Jesse just naturally wound up being such a good DM. Because he's such a like lore brain. And it's really hard for me to not be like, man, I'm just like not, I don't think that I'm nearly as good as he is. And at this point he's DM'd a lot more than I have because I've only done the couple of games. But practice makes perfect, right? Or not even perfect. Practice makes better. So I'm interested in DMing. And I like DMing. So I just need to create more opportunities to do it. And I'll get better at it. Thank you. Yeah. It's nice to have that stuff back there. Grender DMs who let that happen. He has DM'd on JP's channel twice. He's done games called Dikea. They are post-apocalyptic games that take place in an abandoned IKEA. I'm in the same boat. I have a bunch of people who are interested in a D&D game but don't have a DM. I'm considering stepping in even though I'm not very experienced. Most of them are learning D&D for the first time, so it might be good to learn together. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about the one with Sam's family, right? Because I'm not a super practiced DM, but I'm interested in DMing. Sam loves to play, and he's really good at explaining the rules. So having him there as a player, but also as somebody who can answer rule questions. And then if it's his mom, his dad, and his sister, none of them have played before. So they're not going to judge me very harshly because they haven't played, So it would probably be a really good learning experience for all of us. Brogandos, thank you very much for gifting subs. Welcome, guys. Anybody who has just gifted a sub, be sure to say thank you. Are the cats not allowed in this room? They are, absolutely. I keep the door shut because typically at the time that I start streaming is right when my daughter has gone down for a nap. Sound travels really well/badly in this house. So if the door is open, anybody in the house can hear me talking. So with the hope of helping my daughter sleep for longer, I keep the door shut. I don't want to start a war, but I don't like D&D alignments. A lot of people don't. I don't think that would start a war. I think people enjoy the alignments more as a meme than anything at this point. Alignments barely matter in a game anymore, I don't think. Sometimes it's interesting to check in with characters and be like, you said that you were going to be this, but really the way you're playing it is more like this. But it doesn't, I don't think that most people care or utilize alignments in their games. But I think in terms of memes, when people are like, here's the alignment chart of ways of eating potatoes, right? Like that sort of shit. I think that's funny. I love that. My old D&D group took alignments way too seriously, and I think it killed the group. No, that's so sad. Yeah, I think I've had DMs who have had us put down what we plan to be, and then at like big turning points in the campaign, like say that we had like a huge fight that had been building up over time or whatever. After the fight is done, the DM has like checked in with us to say like, you said that you were chaotic neutral because you're an edgelord, but look, everybody has early on in their D&D life made a chaotic neutral character. Let's all accept it now. You said that you were going to be chaotic neutral, but really, I think we can both agree based on this, and this that you're more evil, or based on this, and this, I would say that, you know, you are neutral, but not really chaotic. As just like a check-in, not that it matters to the game at all, but just to like say, I know that you planned on doing this, but throughout the course of the game, because all characters start off so one-dimensional, over the course of the game, as you flesh this character out, they're really behaving more like this. I, for one, play D&D over Discord with my home group and tell fun stories. Oh, Precy, thank you so much for the sweet message.
Burrito babe.
Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? The mental difference between, I stay inside every day anyway, versus, but I have to stay inside now. Like, I don't have a choice. There is definitely a mental shift that happens there. So, yeah. If I can help keep y'all's spirits up at all, or give y'all like a good couple of hours to just chill, then I did my job. That's why I like the flexibility of the fate system. I love the fate system. I want to do a fate game so bad. Jintu, thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Yeah, I want to do a fate game really, really bad, but I would want it to be with like seasoned players, and my friends here that I'm talking to right now have all played before. So yeah, that might be fun. Took my dogs to the dog park to get out our energy. Yeah. I'm going to try to do some stuff in the backyard, I think. There's an old so the first trash bin that we bought when we moved here, it was like a bright red trash bin, and Sam hated it, so we swapped it for a different one. But I think I want to like poke some holes in it and turn it into compost, like outdoor compost, to use once I actually have the beds to actually use in the beds. I still need to buy some soil to like put in the compost first, so that I can start adding like fruit and vegetable waste and stuff like that. But yeah. You garden? That's awesome. I haven't, when I was living in Los Angeles, I didn't ever have any space to garden because it's Los Angeles. I never lived in a place that had anywhere to garden in. Yeah. So now this place that we've moved in, we have like a pretty decently sized backyard, which is awesome for Clark because she wants to be outside all the time. So she runs around, she picks up leaves, all kinds of stuff. And there's like a side bit that goes along the side of the house. And I was like, that would be perfect to put some like garden stuff in, because my whole life growing up on a farm, we always had a garden and I've really, really missed it. So, yeah, I was like, well, one of the things that would help waste wise is if I could make a big like rotating compost bin outside like we had on the farm. And I already have this trash bin, so I could just convert it into a thing. The second that somebody says stop touching your face, my nose starts itching, and I hate that. Yeah, we always squash grew really well, strawberries grew really well in Oregon. So zucchini would always grow, bell peppers would always grow super well. We did onions once, and they did fine. Peas did super well. But my dad, like, over a period of a few years, kept adding more stuff to the soil, and we had the compost, right? The idea of composting is that the nutrients from, say, a banana peel or, the outside skin of the onion or whatever, all of that stuff, it will decompose and become part of the soil, right? And so the nutrients that are from those things are going to add a lot to the soil that will help new things grow. So keeping a compost bin and like rotating the soil and stuff and adding things to it, the idea is that then you can incorporate that into the soil that you're using to grow stuff in. And all of the good stuff that's coming out of those fruits and vegetables will be incorporated into the soil and help the next life that is coming from it, right? So my dad, over a period of a few years, just kept adding, either buying soil that was more like acidic or whatever, depending on what he wanted to grow, and then also having our compost bin that we would rotate pretty regularly. Most things grow really well in our gardening area now. I won't have that luxury. I'll be starting from scratch with just like soil. So we turn into grass and the antelope eat the grass. Oh my God. I watched live action Lion King on the plane. I was one of those people that was like, everybody is getting so bent out of shape about how Lion King looks. It's fine. And then I watched it. It is eerie. It is a little eerie, like watching. I don't know what it is about it, but it was eerie to watch. Uncanny Valley. Yeah, there's something Uncanny Valley about it. So everybody kept being like, ugh, Lion King, ugh. It's so weird. Like, why do they have to make, like live action animals talking and stuff? It's weird. I don't like it. And I was like, chill out. Fuck. It's fine. It's fine. Who gives a shit? And then I watched it and I was like, oh no, this is weird. At least it wasn't the Cats movie. I know way too many people that I pretend that it's ironic, but they unironically love the Cats movie, and now I need to see it. Cats was better than Lion King. Damn. I watched Aladdin live action and it was okay. Oh, I also haven't seen that. I haven't seen like most of the live actions. I watched like half of Jungle Book. I watched Lion King on the plane. What else did I watch on the plane? Oh, I didn't really. That's why I read so much American Gods. That's right. Because the headphones kept glitching out. Yeah, I remember this now. I'm very difficult to displease with a movie, and Cats was rough even for me. Yeah, I'm very easy to please with media, typically. It's hard for me to listen to a song and be like, wow, that's a bad song. And it's hard for me to watch a movie and be like, wow, that was a waste of my time, right? Like, I'm pretty easygoing about that shit. But occasionally I'll watch something or I'll listen to something or I'll read something and be like, I read American Gods and I liked it, but in a what the fuck way? Yes, 100%. I was talking with Kristen. I haven't seen the show. And I'm not about to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't read the book or seen the show. But I was talking with Kristen because she had read the book and had watched the show. And so I was nearly done with the book talking with her. And I was like, okay, is this scene in the show? And she was like, yes. And I was like, how? Like, how on earth were they able to put that in a video? I don't understand. Yeah. It was very... The American Gods book is a trip. It's wild. The show is weird. Yeah. Was it good? Yeah, I mean, it's nearly 800. I don't read very often. I'm trying to read more. But I brought that book. It is nearly 800 pages. And I read all of it in the period of 2 trains and 2 planes. Do they have that one scene? You know the one? That is exactly the scene that I was asking about. And yes, apparently it's in the show. Wild. How? I have to watch the show now. I gotta know. We're talking about American Gods. Nice title. Thank you. The Dune books are pretty good. I have 2 people in my life that are obsessed with the Dune books. Maybe not obsessed. Obsessed is the wrong word. They really like them. Danica and Comic Book Girl, if anybody you know them by that name. Danica and Adam Coble really loves Dune. Would American Gods be a good dad book? What do you mean by that? Like, oh, I see. I've got a long 16-hour car ride with mine coming up. Oh, I see. A good book for your dad to read. I don't know. It depends on like your dad's vibe. I would never want my dad to read that book, especially not around me. It is very, I don't even know how to put it. Or something for us to listen to as an audiobook. Oh, no, I would say no. It's very surreal sometimes. But it's just got lots of scenes in it that I don't think I would want to hear read by anybody around my parents. So it depends on like your relationship with your parents and the sort of things that your parents enjoy. It's very graphic. There's lots of like really detailed sex scenes in it. Something that if you want something with like a similar vibe, not a similar vibe, but like still in the realm of mythology, Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology is great, and I listened to it as an audiobook, and it's so good. It's really, really fun. And he's just basically like, look, all of these myths, they were always oral, right? Like they were always just told to other people, and they took many different forms and they changed in lots of different ways. So I'm just going to tell these stories from like my, you know, the way in which I would write them or the way in which I would tell them. And it's great. Stephen Fry's Greek mythology book is also amazing. I've heard that as well. I have 6 Audible credits. I need to pick up new ones. Oh, man. I started listening to a book. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Bad Blood? Yeah. Bad Blood. It is a, it's a nonfiction book. Let me see if they have the summary for it. Yeah. Inside story of the shocking collapse of Theranos, the one-time multi-billion-dollar biotech startup. It's like a wild Silicon Valley story about a company that completely lied to its investors. Oh my God. It's really interesting. I'm reading that right now. It's pretty crazy, isn't it? There's another one that I grabbed called The Trauma Cleaner. I haven't started reading that one yet, but it was recommended to me. Yeah, Norse mythology. Wow, I have tons of books that I have not listened to yet. Oh my God, I grabbed the Shape of Water book. When? What? When? What? I'm so confused by myself right now. Oh, on topic with touching your face, there's a book that I grabbed called Girl Wash Your Face. That was also a recommendation, and I have not started it. And then there's a parenting book that I started listening to called How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen to So Kids Will Talk. And it's pretty cute. It's like exercises to do along the same lines of what I was talking about before. It's like exercises to do to realize the moments in which you're kind of like talking over your kid or like not listening to them, and encourage them to talk to you more. Which obviously isn't a thing in our lives yet, but it was still a recommended book, so I figured I would listen to it. I had to read so much in college for assignments, it killed my ability to read for fun. Yeah, I used to read all the time when I was younger. And then I got really into reading plays, and once I took a class where I had to read plays constantly, I stopped reading plays. Like, isn't it interesting how school can really kill that for you? Does your local library have an audiobook catalog? I don't know, but I want to look into that. It wasn't until I got my English ID that I could get a library card and be able to use the library services here. So now that I have one, I can go there, but, you know, in like 2 weeks when I'm allowed outside of the house again. Oh, some of my friends have set up a self-isolation online book group. That's very cute. Don't take script analysis unless you want to have less fun in life in general. For real, though, right? I mean, I assume I would have to... Virtual libraries. Really? Really? library closed? I assume it is. Is it not? About your library. Join the library. Oh my god, I can do all of it online? Oh my god! It's changing my life. Anyways. New show, Dodgers Monthly Book Club. Dude, I would love to, you know, once a month be like, all right, fam, what did we read? What are our recommendations for each other? But I'm just not a consistent reader. So it's hard to say that I would stick to that. Dodger wants more pressure. But reading like reading this book was so nice. It was so nice to just like really get immersed in a book for the first time in a while. If I could consistently do that, I think it would be really nice. Like the way that I've incorporated puzzles into my life consistently has been so nice. If I could do that with books, I would have another thing that sort of like let me just space out and process stuff a bit better instead of stewing, you know? I don't stew in a super negative way anyway. I used to when I was younger. It was really bad. But I'm not as bad about it anymore. But I do have kind of that task paralysis, you know, where you're not really doing anything, but the entire time you're not doing anything, you're thinking about all the shit that you really need to do. And it's just like overall like a horrible waste of time, right? You're not enjoying yourself whatsoever because you're feeling really guilty because you're not doing shit. But you can't like, for whatever reason, find it in yourself to focus and like do a thing. I hate that. I hate it so much. But I think sometimes having more stuff in your life that helps your brain just like turn off for a little bit can sometimes recharge you. Yeah, TFK. I've been trying to do that too. To just like choose one thing and be like, if I can finish this one thing, then the day was a win. Right? I don't have to do everything on the list because let's be honest, probably what will wind up happening is I won't do any of those things and I'll feel like shit. So instead, if I choose one thing that needs to get done that is achievable, and if I can set aside the time to do that one thing, I can go to bed and be like, all right, cool, I did it. All right, we are coming up on 4 o'clock, and I haven't heard my family, which makes me worry that everybody is still asleep. So I'm going to go check on them. I will be streaming again in 3 hours. I'll be streaming with David, and we'll do some coffee announcements and just hang out. So if you would like to tune in for that, that would be amazing. If you've got other stuff to do today, I understand. Thank you guys so much for being with me. I'm going to read off our activity feed. Everything that happened during the stream today. Krorin, thank you for the 33 months. Make some time for the 45. Paburaziga for the 2 years. Happy anniversary. Pit Plays for the 31. Tetsu for the 11. Ailey Baby for the 25. Silhouette for the 16. Villas Farthik for the 13. Kaylee Nicole for the 56. Guns You Down, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Chubby Penguin, thank you for the 11. Tennessee Bob for the 41. Antiphus for the 20. Zraken for the 2. Spoon of Doom for the 7. Tentacle Meow for the 40. Popcorn Nugget for the 3. Platinum Faye, thank you very much for gifting a sub to someone. Rami Nix, thank you for the 6. Avi gifted a sub to Balrog Army. Thank you again for that. Alicia E, thank you for the 28. Moel for the 46. Mandy Zagul for the 5. Xerox for the 2 years. Happy anniversary. Baddock for the 23. Legion for the 9. Happy Twitch baby. Silver at Heart, thank you for the 11. Pandorama for the 1 year. Happy anniversary. Fatal for All, thank you for the 49. Voltaire, thank you for subscribing. Ruby Nemo, thank you for the 2. Brant for the 19. Calyx for the 25, Link and Nova Curse, thank you again for subscribing, both of you. Astra, thank you again for the gifted subs. Briar Star, thank you for the 2. Cutie Pie for the 2 as well. Frunk, thank you so much for the biddies. Astra, thank you for the biddies. PZN gifted a sub, thank you very much for that. Let's see. Unwritten Tales, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Leo Sunlover, thank you for the 37. Offered Leak for the 30. Anthea Odreo, thank you for the 42. Avi gifted a sub to I'm Lunchy. Thank you so much, Avi. Running in Dreams, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. It's Lynn, thank you for the 62 months. Amma Nickel for the 45. Brebot for the 23. Kerlitha for the 25. 47. Thank you for the 23. Oniri, thank you so much for the 3. Amontillado Wolf, thank you so much for the biddies. Nerd Atlas for the 49. Crockett's Dodo for the 10. Brogantos, thank you again so much for gifting subs. Emma Rogue, thank you for the 7. Jintu, thank you so much for subscribing. An anonymous gifter gifted a sub to Totes Mikuchi. Thank you very much. Thusmus, thank you for the 32. Beast Wolfgang for the 26. El Zilko for the 19. Shadow Wing Dragon for the 9. Happy Twitch baby. Skeletor for the 3. Thorfinn for the 44. Lewis94 UK, thank you for the 4. My uni is closed and I can't find support for my dissertation. It's nice to have a bit of calm in my life. Oh, thank you. And No One's Minion, thank you for the 27. You guys are amazing. I realize I missed my cheer. Oh, I'm sorry. You also redeemed the post show, yeah? Anime intro song of your choice. Somebody asked for that the other day. And I really was not sure what to do, so I just did the Dragon Rock the Dragon song, and I really wish that I had been like, man, if somebody asks for this again, I'm hosed. I should really look up a song, because in the moment I just can't remember. Oh, One Punch Man, I know that one. I can do that one. All right, here's a bunch of dabs in a row. Bam, 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 for Mr. Nesser, Vivid Zephyr, Aguchi, and Celis. Thank you guys for the dabs. Oh, and bam for Sir William. Thank you very much. Avi Pitter, thank you for redeeming a Valentine and saying loud noises. Potato redeemed a Valentine and put a fart emote in there. Aomaz, thank you for redeeming a Valentine and saying love you, chat and dudes. Legion of Lashes said here's to all attempting to keep their sanity intact in this strange time. Coop said you're kind, smart, and super sweet and have helped me and I'm sure others during a tough time. Thank you very much. Music Ninja said I hope everyone is happy and healthy. And Brandling said take care and stay strong, everybody. Lots of very sweet vibes and messages from people in chat. Thank you all so much for contributing to a good atmosphere today. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I will see you guys in a few hours and take care of yourselves, okay? Bye-bye. One Punch! Dear, 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 dear.